Hello, hello. Welcome to day two of the Fall in Love with You challenge. I am excited to be here. Hopefully things go smooth today with our live. I'm not sure what's happening here with my computer, but I'm going to continue on and hope that all goes well. Maybe I'll hop on my phone real quick so I can see your beautiful faces and your beautiful comments. And let me know, are you tuning in live? Hashtag live, say hello, give me a heart, give me a love. If you are hashtag replay, let me know where you're tuning in from, how things are going. I'm gonna set that there so I can maybe see comments better. Alrighty, so how many of you took some time yesterday to start to kind of put some names and faces to those voices of judgment that we talked about yesterday? Yesterday was all around learning about what these little roommates in our head were, right? That inner critic, who they are, because we need to identify them and get crystal clear on who they are so we can then unidentify with them. And I was talking to a client last night around this, and the more that we're aware of who these are, we can actually make light of it. We can, when we see them coming up, it's like, oh, there's Fearful Franny, she's showing up again, right? Or there's Busy Betty, yep, look, if you're not careful, you're going to hit burnout. So it's so much easier that when we catch ourselves in these moments of stress and anxiety and frustration and sadness and all the things, that we can actually say, okay, I identify, I see who you are, but you know what? You're not driving my car of life, right? So that was what all yesterday was all about. So if you haven't had a chance to sit down and really take a look and identify who your voice of wisdom, or sorry, your voice of judgment is, I encourage you to do that. And then we talked about like how we can replace that with that powerful voice of wisdom, right? I have Josie, and she's always reminding me that you can do it, that you are enough, that you've got the power to do whatever it is that you set your mind to. So who is your voice of wisdom? What's her name? What is her identity? So you can call on her for that grace and that compassion. We talked about how the antidote to that judgment is to get curious, right? To just, when we start to see these judgments of ourselves coming up, get curious and think like, what was the event? What was the, okay, like, why are these thoughts coming up? Where did these thoughts come from? Where did they originate from? Get curious so that we can heal and release and let them go. If you catch yourself judging other people, then you can, add that line, just like me. And it really quickly then draws in compassion, and it makes us realize that, what, we're not perfect beings, and either are the people that are around us. And sometimes if we're judging somebody else, we need to turn around and say, well, what about that is triggering me? What is, is there something about that desires? So you might be wondering, okay, Velvet, you know what? This is all well and okay, right? We know that we have a voice of judgment and our voice of wisdom. But really, how does that help me fall back in love with myself? So you've heard, or maybe you haven't, but there's so much hype right now out there in the personal development world around the high five habit. And this is a new book by Mel Robbins. And I recently actually participated in her challenge that she had as she was launching her book. And the book really explains the science behind why a simple thing like giving yourself a high five in the mirror every day truly works to change our mindset in one little action. And I'm going to get back to this in a bit, but I wanted to just share with you a powerful realization that I had the other day when I was sitting through a webinar. And I realized at that moment, and what I learned was that our present experience, what we are experiencing right now, is determined by what you're looking forward to, right? When we have something to look forward to, that is our secret to happiness. So do you find though that when you start to get excited about your future, right? You've got this exciting like plan, maybe you're going to go to Disney World, you're planning this beautiful trip, or you're planning on, creating a successful business so you can leave your corporate job and spend more time with your family and traveling and all these things, right? You get so excited and fired up with these goals and these aspirations. And then you start to hear that little critic inside of your head, right? That little committee, those roommates in your head, and they start to rattle off the shit that then takes away that excitement. Right? Do you find that sometimes you get stuck in areas of your life? And I recently learned as well that the reason we feel this way is because when we look at our future, or when we start going towards our future, it's more of the same from our past. You have a friend or a family member who anytime they call you, you're just like, oh, not that person again. They're just going to sit there and moan and complain about everything. They just sap my energy. But what if you change that? And what if when you saw it, it's like no expectations. Today could be different. And you just created a new space for that person versus bringing the past conversations into the present. Or another thing that often happens is we get so up in our heads about different scenarios, like we're mentally practicing how things are going to go, and we always mentally prepare ourselves for the most worst extreme cases, which 99.9% of the time never happen, right? So we make these little tiny daily changes in our life, small tiny little steps. And that will truly change the trajectory of our future by taking small little steps in changing our daily habits, right? So if you keep, you've all heard this the saying, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you always got. So what we need to do then is we need to reimagine our future with some new habits. And the first to do this is to just take a moment and check in with ourselves. So, you ask yourself, dream small. We don't set big goals for ourselves because it's like, oh, that's too hard. We can't do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't have the money. I don't have the whatever, right? But no, in this case, I want you to dream big. I want you to have big, deep desires that feel so good and get you so excited about your future. And so, really, then take a minute and just check in, right? What do you need? What do you want in your life? And then you need to take a look at the role that you are currently playing in your life, right? The role that you're playing right now is keeping you stuck right here, right now. And so we need to change that role to be in alignment with what it is being an imposter, right? I've always been the cheerleader to my colleagues, right? I've always been the one to support and promote and push and encourage other people. And I would be dimming my own light so that my colleagues and my peers would look brighter to justify why I would never be good enough. And that's really one of the things that my voice of judgment loves to tell me a lot. So, what did I do? Well, I had to use my voice of wisdom, number one, to silence that judgment by saying things like, I believe in myself. I am successful. I'm having fun doing this business. I'm proactive. I'm always learning and doing new things. I deserve success. I feel validated. I decide what I'm going to focus on. Not only did I say these things, but I believed in these things. I believed that this truly is me, right? We have to cultivate new habits in a role for the life that we want to have, right? Which means we've got to start showing up differently. And like Mel Robbins says, you high five yourself into that new role. Initially, when I first started saying those things, I still didn't have full belief in it. I was just saying them because it's like I knew I needed to change the verbiage that was going on in my head. And then I started to high five myself. It was like, no, you are successful. You need to believe in yourself. You are having fun, right? You are successful. So I'd love to do a little visualization exercise. Hey, Kara, awesome. Thanks for joining. So let's do a little visualization exercise right now. So I want you to close your eyes and take I want you to picture yourself in a year from now in your new role that is in alignment with your desires. You see yourself fully in that dream. What are you wearing? What are you doing? What do you see around you? What's in your environment in your new dream? Who are you with? What is the sounds around you? What do you feel? And really tap into that feeling. Just dig in and really feel that. Now I want you to bring that feeling with you to the here and the now. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Ladies, I want you to get used to that feeling, to really tap into that new role, that dream, imagining having all of those things that you've always desired to have. Because what that's going to do is it's going to help you to start shifting into that new role that you need to be, to shift that mindset that you need to have to get into a these 3 days that you would never ever feel those dark days again. So first and foremost, on those dark days, I want you to stand in front of your mirror. And if it's one of those deep, dark days, you're in your lowest moment, that's when I want you to raise your hand and high five yourself and just wipe away the negativity. And what you need to do really, and we'll talk more into it, but is to really look past just your physical, what you see when you look in the mirror, but look into your own eyes, like get deep into your soul when you're doing this. Even if you can't say anything to yourself at that moment, you can simply just give yourself that high five. You've got this. The role that you're currently playing in your own life is to bring your beliefs, confidence, and to celebrate yourself, right? And you need to have that desire to truly want to change. And when you do that, you're going to be grounded in compassion by practicing this, right? And in turn, you'll be able to cheer yourself forward on the days that you feel that you blew it. Because remember, ladies, this is the most beautiful thing. We have a really special gift. You see, we get to have a fresh start every 24 hours. So it's literally one day at a time, one high five at a time, one small step forward at a time. Be encouraging to yourself and be compassionate with yourself. So often, when we start to have these great big dreams, we feel that we need to be running in a million different directions. But you just start one bite at a time. So instead of turning to those external sources for happiness, which let's face it, so many of us do that, right? We've got to remember that only you, only me, only us, like, can we be responsible for our own happiness? So starting today, stop waiting for others to cheer you on and start cheering yourself on every single day. So what are some habits then that we can do to help start shifting us into that new role? Number one, the best way to show yourself love and to start your day strong is to get out of bed as soon as that alarm rings. Did you know that our cortisol levels, which is those stress hormones, are highest first thing in the morning? So if we just lay around in bed or if we hit snooze, it really can have the potential to throw you into a downward spiral by getting up. So by getting up and just like moving first thing in the morning is going to help to drop those cortisol levels. Number two, always make your bed first thing in the morning. This is the easiest way to help overcome procrastination, believe it or not, right? Because if you make your bed, you get up as soon as the alarm rings, you make your bed is your next step, you've already gotten something done off of your to-do list. And who doesn't love accomplishing things off their list, right? So you've accomplished something and it's been done first thing in the morning. Number three, put on your workout clothes. And the easiest way to do this is the night before when you're getting ready to crawl into bed, pull. It doesn't mean that you have to go and do a vigorous workout. It doesn't mean that you have to go to the gym, be pumping weights and doing heavy hard cardio every single day. It just means doing something every single day that's moving your body, that's getting your heart rate a little bit up, even if it's only just going for a walk, a 10 to 15 minute walk every day. The more that you do this and get into the habit of doing this every day, the more your body is actually going to crave the movement on the days that you miss it. So if you can get movement in first thing in the morning, wake up. Well, if we get our workout in or exercise or our movement or we go for a walk first thing in the morning, you know what happens? Endorphins are released, which are those happy hormones, right? And it will get you excited, it'll get you energized, and it'll get you pumped up for the day. And so many people struggle, right? They say, well, I can't get up. I'm already running around crazy as it is. Set your alarm for 30 minutes earlier. And people say, well, I need my sleep. I don't sleep very good. But you know what? If you get up and you move your body in the morning, every single morning, it does something to you in a way that until you experience it for yourself, you don't believe it. But trust me, it energizes you. It gives you fuel for the day. And you're going to sleep better for it too. Number 4, and since I completed the challenge with Mel Robbins and reading her book, the some mornings I feel powerful and excited, and I might state some affirmations while I'm doing this. Some mornings I struggle, and I'm just giving myself a high five and telling myself, you've got this. And the thing is, when we first start this, it's going to be hard, right? Some people struggle with looking at themselves in the mirror intently. But I challenge you, even if you can't say anything, and the first thoughts that you see when you start to look at yourself is you're starting to criticize and pick things apart, stop. Give yourself a high five. Because the cool thing about that, when you think about giving somebody a high five, you're giving somebody a high five because you're celebrating something, you're excited about something, it pumps you up. So when you give yourself a high five, when you raise your hand to give yourself a high five, it changes the pathways in our mind. So you cannot think a criticizing negative thought and high five yourself at the same time. It's just not possible. So, right, you want to look at yourself deeply in the eyes. If you can say something nice, great. If you can't, then just give yourself that high five. I really encourage you to look past your eyes and into your soul, like I talked about. And really, as you do this, give a loving nudge to keep on going, and that no matter what is happening in your life at the moment, you can do this. Because here's the important thing to note, is that you cannot change yourself if you cannot look at yourself in the mirror. So let your hand linger and look into your eyes. Because ladies, I encourage you, please do not let the past rob you of your ability to reclaim your future. And I like to do this when I'm brushing my teeth because they say when you stack a new habit with an old habit, it makes it easier to stick with that habit. So you brush your teeth every morning, you high five yourself every morning. It just goes hand in hand. And number 5 is to journal. Make it a daily practice. Right? If journaling isn't your thing and you really struggle with it, then just simply make it 5 things that you're grateful for every single day. Write down what you dreamt about. Write down what stressed you out from the day before. And if journaling is something that's hard for you, I've actually created a really amazing little self-love journal that I will drop in the comments below. And you can help yourself to it if you feel that you may want to check it out, see what it's all about. Maybe it's going to help you get into that habit. It's 30 days of journal prompts, all around digging into yourself and really falling back in love with you. So that's what I have for today. So we've got those 5 habits, right? Simple, easy little things that we can all start to implement tomorrow morning, right? Get up as soon as that alarm goes off. Make your bed first thing. Put on your workout clothes and even just go for a walk. Give yourself a high five every single morning when you're brushing your teeth, and journal. Drop in there for you. So I would love to hear what has been your key takeaway from today's challenge. Go ahead and drop it in the comments if you'd like, or you can shoot me a message. And I want to ask you, are you ready to commit to these 5 little morning routine habits? And then what is the role that you've been playing that's been keeping you stuck? And what is the role that you want to play now? So I've opened up some spots on my calendar. If you want to hop on a quick 15-minute call so that we can help you get set up for success, and we can help you focus on or establish what your true desires and dreams are, if maybe that's an area that you're stuck in. But yes, I have my calendar link there, so feel free to hop in on that. And I'm going to do a draw. So whoever whoever answers these questions, I'm just coming up with this off the fly. Whoever answers these questions that I've asked, are you ready to commit to these 5 little morning routines? What is your role that you've been playing, and what is the role that you want to play now? And tell me what your key takeaway was from day 1 and day 2. Comment that to me by by noon tomorrow. You can send it by DM. You can put it in the comments below. You can shoot me a text, whatever it is, if you don't want to share it in the group. But whoever sends me the answers to those questions, are you ready to commit to these 5 morning routine habits? What is your role that you've been playing, and what is the role that you want to play now? And what is your key takeaways from day 1 and day 2 so far? Then I'm going to get you into a draw for a Kindle edition ebook of the High 5 Habit. So I cannot wait to see. Have any questions? I didn't see much for comments. Awesome. Hey, Wilma, thank you so much. Maggie was watching. Excellent. Awesome. Chantel, thank you, ladies, for hopping on live. And I will be here all evening if you have any questions. And otherwise, I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. I hope you have the most beautiful evening.